Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael.
Jonathan.
And we are Bro JMR, and we are bringing you a brand new Our 3 Cents for a new movie that's just recently come out like a month ago.
Yeah.
Or something. But we're just now getting around to seeing it.
Yeah, we tried around Christmas, but things weren't working out in our favor.
Because we didn't want to sit like this.
Yeah. Because when we went to go see it, all they had was the front 2 rows, and Bro JMR don't do the front 2 rows. We do the back 2 rows.
Not because we're snobs or anything, but we're really, really tall, and so we already have neck problems anyway.
It's because we're snobs. I want the best seat.
That's why I had the best seat in the whole house at the IMAX yesterday for Star Wars. Oh, yeah. But even today when we went to go in, it was almost completely filled up also. Yeah. So I don't know how that movie is still just keeps selling out tickets, selling out screenings all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a good movie, but wow.
We haven't even mentioned the name of the movie yet.
They read the title. They know what's up.
We went to go see Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
We did.
And before anybody says anything, yes, we realized that we did not do a review for Star Wars. We didn't do a review for Star Wars Force Awakens either. We're not doing Star Wars reviews. Maybe someday, but not now, okay? Those are movies we don't touch. Don't look back at my history and find the ones that I did, because they're terrible. I really need to just delete those off. I'm dead serious.
There's no deleting.
No, I really didn't like those reviews. I didn't like what I did with them. But anyway, we went to go see Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
Yes. And I must say, hands down, best video game movie ever. And it's not even based on a video game.
Nope. But I liked it. I liked the idea that they made it into a video game. I was a little wary of that at first. I'm like, they're making it into a video game. But once you actually see the movie, it gives an explanation why. Because it still is a board game at first. Mm-hmm. It changes itself into a video game, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah. The curse of the game, I mean, it's a supernatural being.
Yeah.
So, could you almost say it's a horror character?
Kind of. I don't know, there's something interesting. I thought there was something really interesting about the idea that the game adapted itself in order to be able to suck people in. It's like it needs victims. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like it changed itself too once it became a video game. It's like there were so many people in the world. In the original, I always thought of him being sucked in Jumanji as more of if you had to compare it to a video game, almost like a survival game. You know?
Yeah. Where
there's no real other characters hunting you except for Van Pelt, which get to that. I'll talk about that. But, it's just you in the jungle trying to survive. Mm-hmm. This one was more almost like an MMORPG type thing. There were people everywhere.
Yeah.
Even though you couldn't interact with them because they were NPCs.
Right.
So, I enjoyed that aspect of it a lot.
I enjoyed the fact that it's really retelling the Jumanji story for like a new generation.
Yeah.
Because like they said at the beginning of the movie, who plays board games anymore? And that's true because people really don't play board games anymore. They play video games. And so they found a way to still make the story relevant and tell it for an audience, for a modern audience. And so it kept the idea of the game fresh. Obviously, just changing it up to adapt it to a video game status. And it would honestly, that would actually kind of be a fun video game. It really would, I think.
Yeah.
It was very simplistic. I mean, if you're looking at it from a video game standpoint, it was a very simple game, a very short game, but it was really intense seeing it played out as a movie.
Yes.
As like a story.
very much so. It was a very funny movie.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, a large portion of the humor was based around the fact that it was these people that were sucked from their real life and became characters in a game. And every character that they chose were the exact opposites of what they were in real life. And that is where most of the humor came from, but it was done very well.
Mm-hmm.
The humor was written very well, the jokes made sense, and they really chose some fantastic people to portray. I mean, you got some really funny people in this movie. The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillian.
And it was nice that he's actually going by Dwayne Johnson now.
Yeah.
And it's not Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah,
The Rock. It's nice that he's finally broken away from that rock persona.
It's a habit.
It is a habit.
It is a habit that will take a little while to break, you know.
But great cast.
And I gotta say, Jack Black carried this movie.
Oh yeah.
He really did. I love Dwayne Johnson, don't get me wrong. I obviously love Karen Gillian. She is a fiery hot redhead. Of course I love her. I have mixed feelings on Kevin Hart, but he's a very funny guy. But Jack Black carried this movie. He did. And surprisingly enough, Nick Jonas kind of...
I was trying to remember if it was that one or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be Joe. I don't know. It was one of the Jonas Brothers. I don't remember which one. I apologize, but I'm 35. I don't listen to Jonas Brothers.
You're 35 and you're a guy, and so...
Yeah. I'm going to look that up real quick because I don't want to be wrong, so you talk, Michael. You say words.
Words. Stuff. The jokes, there was a lot of it was like kind of immature a little bit. I mean, it was funny.
Nick. I was right. It was Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of seemed a little more sophomoric jokes.
Yeah.
The best part was when Jack Black's character, who is a girl in like real life and then turned into a middle-aged overweight balding guy, has to pee and doesn't know how what to do, because even though, I mean, they're still like, even though they're these characters in the game, like, the Dr. Bravestone, the adventure warrior guy, the smart zoologist, just all these different characters, but they're them when they need to be, but the rest of the time they're actual teenage selves stuck in adult bodies. And then so she had to pee and she didn't know what to do because she didn't know how a guy's stuff worked. And it was really, really hilarious watching her discover her new appendages and how they worked. And it was just the description. I was like, yeah, just grab hold and let it flow or whatever.
It was very funny, and while it's kind of sophomoric, it felt natural. Mm-hmm. Like if a girl really became a guy all of a sudden, like out of nowhere. Like that's what I want to imagine. That's what it would really be like. It would just be like, what do I do with this thing that's just floating here? And especially since the girl who becomes Jack Black's character is a vain, self-centered prom queen type girl. Mm-hmm. And that was something else I really liked. Like, not only were their physical descriptions changed, but their actual personas were vastly different. The head jock football guy who's used to being the king of the mountain becomes the sidekick, basically. Mm-hmm. The nerdy guy who doesn't really have any friends becomes the leader. the shy, quiet girl becomes the badass chick.
The badass ass kicker.
Yeah, you know, and then Nick Jonas's character was a metalhead who becomes a pilot. There really wasn't a lot changed for him, but I felt that Nick Jonas did an amazing job for somebody who hasn't done a lot of acting, and I was really pleasantly surprised by it. I felt he really carried the role really well, and he had some real depth and emotion to what he was doing. But yeah. Let's talk about the callbacks to the original.
Okay.
Obviously, we're huge fans of the original because it was a movie that was released in the 90s. And that's really all there is.
Which I never got a chance to see in the theater, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I was curious as to whether this movie was going to forget that one entirely or tie into it. It tied into it. In small ways.
Yep.
Mostly just the name drop of Alan Parrish. The cabin that Nick Jonas's character stays in, or like open hut thing that he lives in, belonged to Alan Parrish. His name was carved into it. The bad guy in this one has the last name of Van Pelt, even though he's very different.
Right.
But I'm wondering if I was really hoping for some sort of background on that. Background on why the name Van Pelt is so important to Jumanji. That's what I'd really like to see. I want to see the history of Jumanji. I want to know the background of this.
You want an origin story of Jumanji?
Basically, yeah. And I want to know who Van Pelt is, why he's so important. Is he the creator? These are the things that I would like to know. And there was, they found the little elephant statue.
Yeah, which was
the game piece.
Game piece from
that Alan Parrish had. He had the elephant. So I thought that was really cool. And I think that the Jaguar was one of the other game pieces. Yeah. So there was little nods to the original, which I really appreciated that it was part of the continuity.
Yeah.
And they weren't just completely rebooting this.
Because it really is like a sequel. Honestly, is a sequel.
Yeah, but it's also like a soft reboot at the same time. It's like we don't want to forget the original story, but we want to kind of begin it again.
Yeah. But it was good stuff. It really was.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses. And I finally played it at the end, in the credits. So, I was happy for that.
Yeah, really good. Highly recommend. Go see it if you haven't already. It's a really easy movie to watch, and I like that. You didn't have to really invest yourself super heavily into it. Lots of jokes, some really good action.
As with any movie that's got Kevin Hart in it, they make fun of his size.
Yep.
And as with any movie with Dwayne Johnson in it, he does the rock bottom. So there's little staples that you have to have.
A lot. It's actually it's an integrated part of his character.
Yeah.
It's literally one of his strengths is smoldering. I'm like, can you really, can you get this any more on the nose?
Yeah. Does the people's eyebrow?
Yeah.
Which I can't do, of course. I gotta look. Every time I watch a movie that's got him in it, I always look for his rock quips in it. So, I was not disappointed.
Yeah.
So, very good movie. Quite enjoyable. So, if you can find it at a matinee price, go check it out. If you got Movie Pass, go check it out. So, honestly, it's not something that I would have paid full price to see. I think if I paid full price, I wouldn't have been let down so much, but maybe just because I'm spoiled about never having to pay to get into movies.
I still would have been okay with it, I think. I had a lot of fun with this one.
It was great.
And that's nice sometimes to just have a movie that's just fun.
Yeah,
You
that
know.
you don't have to really think about, don't have to like really invest in.
Uh-huh.
With so many deep, heavy movies out, it's nice to have just a fun. This would have been a summer popcorn flick if it had come out in the summer.
Oh yeah, especially with all the movies we've been watching recently that have been like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to have a little break.
Twas.
So
Welcome to the jungle.
yeah,
Go see it.
yeah. We'll see you guys next week for something else. I don't know what yet.
Yep.
And we'll probably get back on our regular schedule now that all the holidays are over.
Oh, holiday crap is done.
Yep.
So,
And
blessed be.